Hello guys, today I wanna share with you reflections about my English and method that I am using, and I would like to summarize all of my what was going on. So let's get started. I would like to start with my doubts about copywriting, paraphrasing. We can call whatever we wanna, but I'm called like this. But I don't know what is the exercise that I'm doing, but I'm trying to paraphrase articles. I have no idea what to do actually most of the time because I feel like I'm completely confused sometimes because when I am trying to do it, it turns out to be something else many times. And I don't know, but I felt like this exercise didn't work for me. But maybe it should be something like retail, I don't know. But sometimes I just prefer to add my opinions. It is so challenging many times because, to be honest, sometimes I'm trying to find a similar word, but it is used in wrong context, so it can be a reason. I have two solutions to solve the problem. First, I will try to rewrite my words as it was at the beginning. And there is a second solution that I can write it with my words and add in my point of view what I actually think. When it comes to another thing worth noticing, I noticed this fact that learning a language gave me a lot of satisfaction when I started learning at least 2 hours a day, and I felt like it was something what gives you actually fulfillment when you dedicate a lot of time for something. You can be good at it and you see these results, you put in an effort, it results in really beautiful things that you can notice effects and you appreciate the effort that you are doing. You are better committed to your task that you are actually doing. I do recommend people to do it, and you feel like it is part of your day, so you can perform better, you can be more focused on tasks that you've pre-planned, can accelerate your progress significantly. But there is one problem that I see, and I feel like some people can agree that 2 hours it is a lot and it's too much, but I feel like it is not too much and I am trying even more. But people need to take a break at least one day. I feel like it can work this way. Now I am trying to learn a bit more because I have possibilities to do it, and I'm gonna share with you my results. When it comes to other things, I guess breaks are needed for our brain to be able to adjust. How many hours did I study in May? When it comes to it, May was the month. I had often long study sessions. Sometimes it was even almost 4 hours when it was a vlog. It was 1st of May. So, but basically, I studied for 36.5 hours. Then it is a pretty nice score when it comes to it, that I had not too much time because I was focused on something else. I haven't learned for 2 weeks in this month at all, so I can acknowledge this score as pretty decent. I am glad about. I would like to talk about changes that are so significant for my language learning, maybe adjustments that I implemented to my methods. I added something like Matlorc, then I add with one sheet. I'm doing it Notion that I have one sentence in English that was wrong, and I have another sentence in English, and my task is to remind what was the correct answer, and based on this I set up a review for this thing. And basically it is how my SRS works. I use it with essays, speaking, when I'm practicing. Maybe we can use it during copywriting, but basically it's all about noticing a lot of errors that I make during producing a language, and I'm trying to eliminate as much mistakes as I can. And I do realize I won't be able to get rid of all of mistakes, but it's completely impossible. But it is something what can be useful, and I felt like it has changed completely my way of learning, because it is the kind of space repetition system that helps you, and you can use to your advantage this kind of things, because I could see real progress, that I can make fewer mistakes. It is noticeable at my level of English. My understanding, I feel like it's pretty good. It is nothing, maybe I'm not feeling like I'm C1, but my personal experience is something. From my perspective, I view myself as someone who could reach B2 level. I don't know, but it is a subjective feeling, so I shouldn't speak out because I have no proof, but I've done a few tests in the past and I had B2. I did it on English score, something like that, with this British version, so yes, I had these results. So it is a point. There is important thing to say. I do it from time to time. I'm not doing it every day, but it should be done every day. But sometimes, to be honest, it is a thing that takes additional time for my learning. But I do recommend, but sometimes I can do it for 50 minutes like yesterday. But it depends on the perspective. Let's move on to my Anki, because it's crucial part of my learning for C1. Yes, it is subjective C1, as I was saying in past in my previous videos. It is something to enrich my vocabulary. I'm curious whether it's okay to learn with it or no. I am saying that it can work, but to be honest, it doesn't increase your active vocabulary. This helps you with your passive, not active. It's useful when you wanna read books in English and you wanna watch other content. It's easier to understand. I gotta admit that I used many different sources when it comes to words. I used frequency lists. It was dependent on my level, but I had a few of them, maybe 3 or 4, but I needed to use something else because these words has ended. But now I have new sources for C1 and C2, and to be honest, it is a lot, and I felt like I couldn't recognize most of these words, so it's extremely helpful when it comes to improving my language, because when you know more words, you can feel a certain kind of progress. There is one downside of using Anki, because here is a certain problem, because sometimes you can have problem with remembering these words. They are hard cases. We can say that they are words that you can internalize so easy, but they are words that can be completely hard, and you need to create 3-4 times even flashcards with this word, then it can be completely useful. But when it comes to it, I have a special system that I just have something like Notion page. With this, I can just put all of the words that I want to learn, and yeah. I often delete a flashcard, and then I put in my Notion folder for flashcards, that's it, and I can go back for a while, maybe a few days, and then I can do what is necessary to remember it better. What I've noticed actually is the fact that when I create more personalized sentences and when I imagine certain situations with certain people, it's easier to memorize that. And for example, I did it with one person and I was able to remind a word arduously. Then something like that, I collocated this with a specific person. Greetings for this person that I created the sentences. Let's discuss another point than grammar. My grammar lessons was really simple. It lasted for 20 minutes. When it comes to it, at the beginning, I asked ChatGPT for explaining me theory for 5 minutes. Then I was reading sentences for 5 to 10 minutes, and then I started producing my own sentences in this language. But unfortunately, I felt like when it comes to production, it didn't work because I couldn't activate this grammatical structure as effectively as I can do it, because I've decided to change the thing. I do something else completely, and two first parts are the same, that I'm learning theory, and then I move on to reading these sentences out loud, but I've changed the third part. Then I've decided to translate with my native language in English with this grammatical structure that I'm gonna learn. Sentences, it can be completely helpful for me, and definitely it helped me a lot. And there is one exercises that I feel like can be helpful when you wanna be fluent, and it is answering for conversation questions, but it can be fast conversation questions when you have 1-2 minutes for answering, and you can do only this thing to become fluent in your language, and you can speak a bit faster. You don't have to wonder about what you are gonna say or something like that, but you don't try to force anything. You just answer by means of what you know actually, and you are not trying to find out something, but it is completely without any preparation. So it is useful, but yes, I'm speaking out about mainly language learning topics because I've decided to improve this area of life, because to be honest, I am not interested in other areas of life when it comes to speaking in English. I don't have to be perfect with this, but I can improve my vocabulary or something like that, but it is not the time for speaking out, and I felt like I never spoken up there, so it is the reason, and I feel like it can be useful, but it's important distinction. We need to notice that there are 200 to 300 questions in this, and I'm gonna do it 2 times, 2 series, but it is a fast exercise and something when you don't know what to do, it is extremely helpful and you can benefit a lot from this. So thanks for watching, and until to the next video, guys. Bye.